Hi guys, this is Miko, and today I wanted to talk about an important topic, and that is coming out. So I want to share my story as well as kind of give you guys a slight tip on how to go about doing it yourself, and I hope this is really helpful for you. So let's get into it. So, coming out as transgender or gay or anything that's LGBTQ related, um, it's not an easy thing to do. We all know that not all of our families are going to be supportive, not all of your friends are going to be supportive, and that's just the way it is. It's not widely accepted, so it's kind of hard to tell whether or not these people are going to be like, oh, like, I love you for you. So the first thing that I recommend is talking to someone who you are super comfortable with, have maybe known for a while, you're super close, and you feel comfortable sharing that to them or with them, um, and just being like, hey, like the first step is really hard. It took me kind of pretty much my whole life to just finally come out, which I did about a week ago. So um, coming out was just this thing stuck in my chest. I don't really know how to explain it. I just know that I wanted to get it out, and I just said, screw it, I'll just do it, and I'll tell somebody. And the first person that I did was my girlfriend, because my girlfriend and I have been together for a little over a year, and she's extremely supportive and loving and cares about me and doesn't care what I do with my appearance or anything. She loves me for me. So that was really hard, except for I knew that she would be supportive, so it made it easier to come out. We had been talking about this for a little while prior to that, more just me explaining to her I have more of a feminine outlook on life. I feel like I'm a female trapped in a male's body, and I just tend to gravitate towards more feminine things rather than masculine things. So I was able to just come out and say it to her. So she wasn't extremely surprised at all. I guess my biggest worry was that maybe she would leave me, but she didn't, and she has been 100% supportive and backing me up and wanting to help me get to the transitioning stage and write it out with me. And that's really cool. So that was my most comfortable person. And then the hardest part, I think, is coming out to family. So I chose a family member that I thought would be, once again, supportive. And this is just coming from how well I know this person, and that's, of course, my mom. We've spent a lot of time together. We've talked a lot. We've, lived together. Even just recently, a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years now. So, coming out to my mom, she kind of wasn't surprised, to be honest. She just was like, do what makes you happy, and I'm cool with it. You have nothing to worry about on my end of things. She was just more concerned about whether I was going to be able to handle the harassment or possible physical harm that might come with it, as well, as just, I have, depression that I've been dealing with for pretty much my whole entire existence, and she didn't want me to make a transition that was going to emotionally affect me, and her biggest concern was my safety, which is understandable from your mom. So I came out to her, which in turn she told my stepdad, and of course he's very supportive as well. And so I was like, oh, okay, like that's off my shoulders. Like now it's just about like telling my sisters and like some of my friends and stuff. And the next person I talked to was my best friend, and he was super supportive of it too. He was just more surprised, I guess, because I mean I play in a punk band, and I've been playing playing in punk bands for a while now, and I wear a dress when I play, and so people have always kind of thought that was like a gimmick, and I've always kind of played it off as that because like I was afraid of what people would think if I told them, like I feel like I'm a girl, so that's why I do it, and I like to feel pretty and stuff. So I just kind of brushed it off and stuff, but he knew that I dressed in dresses and was kind of like, okay, it like makes sense and stuff. And really, ultimately, he wanted me to be happy too. And all the people that I'm going to talk about, for the most part, they all want me, most part, they all want me to be happy, and that's all of their biggest concerns. Whether I'm going to make this transition and be happy with this transition and be who I always thought I was meant to be. So the next step is I talked to my youngest sister, and she was just like, that's great, and like thank you for coming out to me and stuff. And she's almost 18, so she's a very smart girl, and she's very up to date with these things. She has friends that are trans, and so it was really nice to come out to my little sister, and she was able to just accept me for who I am. And then I last night came out to my other younger sister. She's a little bit older, but she surprisingly was like, hey, like if you are ever like looking for makeup, here's some like products and stuff that I think you would like, and they're like kind of on the cheaper end, but she uses them and she really likes them. And that's something that like I need to figure out because I haven't really done my own makeup. So that's going to be kind of like a learning curve for me. But she's offered to like help me and teach me things, and so has my girlfriend. So that's really nice that I have like that extra support. It's like we'll help you get more feminine and stuff, and that's really cool. But lastly, I came out to my dad, and that was kind of the hardest thing to do. I didn't know whether or not I should tell him at all. I knew eventually I would have to tell him, but it was just really hard to say, hey dad, like I'm transgender and I feel like I'm a female and I'm going to transition hopefully this year. So I texted him, and I did this big kind of paragraph and stuff, and then I just sat there waiting, like, oh god, like I screwed up, and now my dad might not accept me for who I am, and maybe he will be the one who shuns me, because I know he's like politically like right-wing, and I didn't know his views or takes on the LGBTQ plus community. So I thought, oh geez, like my dad is definitely not going to like me coming out. And like 4 minutes later, after like my heart just going like that, and I'm like, whoa, like calm down, like you're freaking out. My dad came out, or responded. My dad didn't come out. He responded to me and said, do what you need to do. I'm more than supportive about it. And ultimately, once again, he wanted me to be happy. And I'm so grateful and lucky to have such supportive people in my life. all they want is my happiness. They know that I struggle with depression and bipolar and anxiety, and that's always been just the biggest thing is they don't want me to go downhill and be stuck in a rut, because I was for a while, and telling these people like has released so much stress. It's like, oh my god, like I don't have to carry this weight on my shoulders anymore, and like I just got it off my chest and I was good to go. And so I would just recommend, honestly, finding some people that you trust and, you know, talk to them and just do it. Like, I was so scared of doing it that I literally just pushed myself and was like, screw it. Like, I'm gonna tell them. And if they don't like it, then they don't like it, because ultimately, like, I'm gonna do it anyways. So they can't really change my mind on it. So that would be my biggest tip. If you have come out, like, I would love to hear your guys' stories. So be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we can be on this journey together. I would love to hear from you guys, seriously. Or, give other tips to other people who are watching in the comment section also. And that's all I have to say today, and I'll be trying to vlog as consistently as I can, hopefully daily, but don't take my word on that. So, as always, bye peaches.